Hello, welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday so far. It is June 5th, 2023, and we are going to talk about an aspect that happened yesterday on my day off on Sunday. Definitely worth speaking to. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're also going to talk about Venus moving into Leo this morning. She has joined Mars, so the lovers reunite, and she's also joined two powerhouse asteroids, Black Moon Lilith, that looks at fears and sovereignty, and Pallas Athena, who looks at strategy and empowerment around feminine ideals. So Venus moving into this particular house is rather exciting. And then we're going to finish it off today speaking to an exact aspect with the sun. The sun is making a sextile to one of those asteroids in Leo. So that's where we're headed today, and we're going to dive right into the exciting conjunction that happened yesterday. And what's really neat about this particular conjunction is that it is a closing of an energetic loop. What happened is that Mercury entered Taurus April 3rd, and Mercury moved through Taurus, almost getting to Uranus, 2 degrees away from Uranus, late April, decides to go retrograde. And so it's almost as if Uranus was waiting to have this connection, to have this epiphany moment around communication and, the way that we think. But boom, nope, not happening. Instead, we were told to go inward with this mercurial topic. So how we think, how we receive information, and really go inward with this as the retrograde happened, all the way until mid-May. And then Mercury turned back around and started heading towards Uranus. And that exact conjunction happened yesterday. At 20 degrees of Uranus, the two came together. And so what does this mean? Well, we closed a loop, right? So closing a loop around what though? Around some sort of communication when it came to maybe your body, maybe your finances, maybe your value system is shifting. But these particular topics, because Taurus is involved, that's why. And then you have Mercury and Uranus. What do these two represent? Well, you have Mercury representing the lower mind. So these things around, reptilian type brain things, the things we do automatically, like driving our car and those sort of tasks. And then you have Uranus, which is the higher mind, that represents things as, study and learning and when you have to actually work for the knowledge rather than when it just comes naturally. So these two energies coming together in conjunction allows for the two minds to talk and to come into balance. So serious clarity around topics that maybe came up in the late April. And then you saw it this weekend and maybe all the way into the middle of this week where this clarity around those themes has come into play. So mental clarity, transformation of the mind, serious download, Mercury representing the mind and Uranus representing transformation, sudden shifts, revolution, upgrade energy, really speaks to this quick mind, quick thoughts, aha type of moments coming into play. So hopefully you've learned a lesson. Hopefully you've gleaned some treasure that happened, during that Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Where this treasure might be around is, again, the nervous system being reset. I had the most amazing privilege yesterday of having my first ever somatic breath work, led by an incredible friend who I happened to go to a concert with end of April. And then boom, when the conjunction happened yesterday, we were back together, only he was leading this incredible experience where I felt my nervous system reset. Parts of my body within my nervous system that have had injury, really, I felt that just dissipate yesterday. So I personally can attest, I had a nervous system reset yesterday. But it might not be for you in the body. It might be around your value system or just the way that you think, patterns of thought. We have this ability to break those old patterns away and to become free, break out of those boxes, become unstuck. So hopefully that mental clarity is just feeling good today, and you can come into more goodness with it all the way up until the middle of this week. But let's go into a more long-term transit, and that is Venus moving into Leo. She will be here for 4 months, friends, because she's going to retrograde in the sign of Leo. And this particular retrograde happens every 8 years. The last time that Leo and Venus were together was in 2015. So maybe you can think back to that particular time in your life and come up with themes. But Venus in Leo is this showboat energy, expressive of love. She wants you to hold her hand when she's in Venus. She wants to be shown off by her partner. There's definitely this pride in love, an expressive, warm-hearted energy. It is the lion. If you think of the lion of the jungle, this big, raw, proud, beautiful animal, exuberance, right? But that lion is the warm-hearted, generous energy, the playful energy. So Venus becomes more expressive around play, and Venus is about beauty and creativity. So becoming more expressive with the way that you dress and your accessories and things like this. So a wonderful energy for Venus to explore, and she gets to do it with Mars, her lover. So there is this chase effect that's happening with Venus as she moves into Leo. She's picking up speed, getting closer to Mars, and they get almost to where they're in exact connection. They actually only get to be 3 degrees apart though. So at the very end of June, they're 3 degrees apart. That's the closest they get. So it is definitely this chasing, teasing, connecting energy, but not combining and blending energy. It's as if they are in the same home, hanging out together, but in different rooms, and they can feel each other, they know each other is there, but they have not actually embraced. And so there is this teasy, flirty energy this month of June that you can tap into. Okay, so we've mentioned that we have 2 asteroids, or I mentioned that we have 2 asteroids, Pallas Athena and Black Moon Lilith in Leo. So these are energies around femininity, empowerment. So, having these 2 asteroids now with Venus and Mars, there might be some female healing or empowerment in relationships that might take place this month. On the opposite spectrum, Black Moon Lilith can represent fears. So we might be looking at fears in our relationships. Those definitely could come up. But with Pallas Athena, our strategizer, she's there to help us to move out of whatever is holding us back. So there is definitely this potent energy of female power up energy going down. But with that being said, let's back up. And with Venus moving into Leo today, she is at 0 degrees. Well, guess what? Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And guess what? They're exactly across from one another. So here we go with an opposition of Venus and Pluto. This is intensity around relationship, friends. This is where we are being asked to have a little bit of strife around relationship to push us into growth. So there is usually power and wealth issues, power plays, transformation is being asked of us when it comes to harmony and love and what we find beautiful. And that's right off the bat, right as she enters in here. And she's at 0 degrees, like I said. We have our north node and south node squaring this particular new placement of Venus. They are at 3 degrees though. So now we're getting into that 3-degree orb where it's starting to feel intense. And this will come into an exact square on the 11th of June. So we'll speak more to that on that day. But basically what a square to the nodes represents is a skipped step. So with Venus there, we may be asked to look at something in our past that was really hard when it came to relationships, that we didn't want to actually acknowledge and that we just ignored. Well, fate, the nodes of fate are knocking on Venus's door with a square this week, asking her to look at that skipped step. We'll go deeper into that on June 11th, but definitely something to keep track of now that you're starting to feel it. What's coming up in your life that's, a skipped Venusian step. Okay, so now we move into the final aspect of the day that I wanted to speak to, and that is the sun in Gemini at 14 degrees, sextile Pallas Athena in Leo, also at 14 degrees. So it is an exact aspect today. And, the sun is our purpose. It's our path. It's the invigorating light that is in our life. And then Pallas Athena, as I've said, she is Athena. If you know the mythology of Athena, she busted out of Zeus's head as she was born, fully dressed in armor, fully, as a adult woman, ready to go. So she has this ability to really go. And how does she go? Well, she plans, she strategizes, she is a warrior, so she knows how to make that plan before she goes into battle. So today we have this access of this inner warrior to strategize and to fight, to express our individuality and the path of our life that we know is the best for us. So we might come into some opportunities today to come into that warrior strategizer part of ourselves. So I am wishing you a fiery, expansive day as Venus has moved into fiery Leo. May your heart sing to its true, authentic nature. And I just wish you so much love. I'll be back here tomorrow.